Okay, so let's look at these questions. Which of the following would be the closest to objectivism as it has been defined in the passage? In the first paragraph, it is written that objectivism holds that there is a single neutral description of each event which is unskewed by any particular point of view. So there is no scope for subjectivity. There's no scope for individual perception or judgment. It has to be neutral. A says an editorial written in a newspaper column. Editorial by very nature is subjective. A travel blog describing a surreal place. The word surreal itself tells us that this description is going to be subjective. What is surreal for one may not be surreal for another. A historical text on events that may have led to the Russian Revolution, maybe. A biography of famous painter, maybe. Now, between these two, a historical text on events that may have led to. This may suggests that the writer will have his personal opinion. There will be selective perception and there will be subjectivity. So the events that may have led to Russian Revolution is a type of paragraph which will have subjectivity. Therefore, D is the best option. A biography of a famous painter. Which of the following best states the main idea of the passage? Some legal scholars have sought to empower people. Yes, they have sought to empower people. Historically excluded from the traditional legal discourse. Yes, the last paragraph talks about this latter group of people, empowerment of them. By instructing them in the forms, no. They are not instructing them, rather they propose an alternative legal narrative. So they want the legal system to change in order to accommodate them rather than instruct these people to be accommodated into the system. They want the changes to be made to the legal narrative itself. Some legal scholars have argued that the basic flaw inherent in objectivist theory can be remedied by recognizing that it is not possible to obtain a single neutral description. Only by recognizing that cannot be remedied, they propose that an alternative legal narrative be constructed. Only recognition is not going to solve the problem. Some legal scholars have proposed alleviating the harm caused by the prominence of objective principles within legal discourse by replacing that discourse with an alternative form of legal narrative. That's correct. Comes from here, which is also the stand statement. Some legal scholars have contended that those who feel excluded from the objectivist legal system would be empowered by the construction of a new legal language. That's correct. That better reflected the objectivist principles. Quite the opposite. They reject objectivist principles rather than propose a system which better reflects it. So, according to the passage, which of the following is true about intellectual systems mentioned in the passage? Intellectual systems is mentioned here in the first paragraph, and it is written that this procedure is rooted in objectivism, a philosophical approach that has supported most Western legal and intellectual systems. And because author says that objectivism is a flawed approach, therefore by extension intellectual systems also become flawed. A is the correct answer. They are inherently flawed because they are based on an inaccurate tenet, which is objectivism itself. They have generally remained unskewed. No, author says objectivism does not exist. All human experience is subjective in nature. There is some element of subjectivity. So how can they remain unskewed by particular points of view or subjectivity? Their discursive practices have yet to be analyzed out of scope of the passage. They have shaped the philosophy of objectivism. No, they have been shaped by the philosophy. So objectivism has shaped them. They have not shaped objectivism. The reverse is true, or the converse, as we may say. Question number 4 says, which of the following best describes the cognition referred to in the passage? Cognition is mentioned here in the last paragraph. objectivist legal discourse systematically disallows the language of emotion and experience by focusing on cognition in its narrowest sense. So what is cognition as per the passage? Something that is free from the language of emotion and experience. Okay. The interpretation of visual clues cannot be free from experience. It is interpretation after all. It has to be subjective. Dispassionate logical thinking. Dispassionate means without emotion. Logical thinking, yes, the correct answer. Sudden insights inspired by the power of personal stories. Personal stories obviously are based on experience. The reasoning actually employed by judges to arrive at, okay, judges are using objectivist principles. However, cognition is not defined in context of judges only. The judges are not a reference point for this term cognition here. Therefore, D is too narrow in scope. This is not the definition of cognition as per the passage. Could be an example maybe, but not the definition. Number 5, it can be inferred that these three men believe which of the following to be the central component of legal reform. Again, the first line of third paragraph, last paragraph, tells us that the legal reform has to be centered around emotional empathy. The new legal narrative that they propose should be centered on emotional empathy. It should take into consideration the subjectivity or the selective perception of human experience. Therefore, A says incorporating into the law the latest developments in the fields of, no, he doesn't talk about latest developments in the field of psychology or philosophy. Eradicating from the legal judgments discourse with a particular point of view. Particular point of view means subjectivity. So do they want eradication of subjectivity? No, rather they want inclusion of subjectivity. Quite the opposite. They want inclusion of subjectivity here. Granting all participants in legal proceedings equal access to training. They don't want to train the participants, rather they want the legal system itself to accommodate these people rather than they getting trained on the existing legal system. D says making the law more responsive. Yes, so changes to law is what they propose here, a construction of alternative legal narrative. So D is the correct answer. Which of the following statements about legal discourse in legal systems based on objectivism can be legal discourse based on objectivism? Let's see. In most Western societies, the legal establishment controls the access to training. Nowhere mentioned out of scope that this control access to training. Expertise in legal discourse affords power in most Western societies. Okay. In this third paragraph, it is written that the stories judged to be objectively true are those told by the people who are trained in legal discourse. So if you are trained in legal discourse, you have an advantage, which means expertise in legal discourse affords power. Legal discourse has become progressively more abstract. This word progressively is questionable. Author does not say that it has become progressively more abstract. It is true that it has become abstract over the centuries, but that evolution, that progression is not mentioned anywhere in the passage. Legal discourse has traditionally denied the existence of neutral objective observers. To the contrary, it is based on the existence of neutral objective observers. It has not denied it. It is based very much on this principle of objectivity. Those who reject objectivism would regard the law's quest for truth as most similar to which of the following? Remember, the question talks about those who reject objectivism. The people who reject objectivism, such as the psychologist or the author himself, say that there is no such thing as neutral objective observer. If there is no such thing, then the quest for truth is a quest for something that does not exist, a non-existent something, which means option C is the correct answer. A hunt for a legendary animal. Legendary means it exists only in the stories or legends. It does not exist it is non-existent. Jigsaw puzzle still yields some meaning when you solve it. The search for a valuable diamond, diamond exists, which means if you are searching for it, diamond is not something non-existent. A comparison is not employed here. We are quest is search, actually, not comparison. So C is the answer. If you liked watching it, please hit the like icon, subscribe to the channel, keep watching. For more practice, VM signing off.